Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Rob Richards, back here at Powertec headquarters, Paramount, Southern California, and today we're going to take a look at the multi-system, one of their most popular pieces, and great especially coming into the new year because it allows you to do so much. Whether you're building out a dream home garage, you've got a separate room in your home, or a small training studio that you want to have multiple stations in, this is what you need. So we're going to break down some of the stations and all the different factors and variables that allow you to make this a truly unique piece of training kit. We're going to get started on this area over here. Chest press, rows, shoulder presses, and one of the most unique features about this multi-system are the lever arms. Now, what I mean by that is you can see here, plate loaded, so the weights go onto the arms here, the horns, and we can change the lever arms to 16 different positions here, which is great based on different heights, builds, and also positions that you want to find yourself in. Maybe you want a steep incline, not so steep, a nice decline for chest presses. But here's the kicker that I really love. We take out the center pin here. I can remove the handle, great for performing shrugs or close grip rows. And then check this out. Arms function independently now. This is great for many of our chest, back, shoulder-based movements that allow us to transform them from a kind of a multi-arm movement into now singular. So let's have a look at that. We're going to drop the bench, again, about 5 different positions on our incline. We can slide back and forwards. I'm going to perform a chest press here. So we have 2 settings. I'll slide the bench all the way forwards. I'm going to put our pin back in to start off with. And you'll see just how quick and efficient this is at transitioning between exercises. Great for circuit training. Great if you're just short on time, you want to get a quick pump in before heading out to work, or you want to sneak 15 minutes away from the kids or your partner, whoever it might be. Get into your own head, get a workout going, get a nice little pump on with your day. So put some weights on there. We've got our locking collars there. I'm going to keep my handles nice and free. We've got our pin in there. Let's get down, get to work. Like I said, 16 different positions. Great movement there. I feel all of this on my pecs, that chest, big muscle, upper front of our body where we're working. And check this out. If we want to keep our rest periods down to a minimum, we can remove that locking pin. I can jump right back down and focus on some independent arm and push them up at the same time. I can work my left and right separately, work in all sorts of combinations. Maybe all the way down, focus on one arm, maybe a couple of reps there, switch over. You get the idea. You get the idea. Let's change it around. We're going to move the bench maybe from a chest into a shoulder. So about 5-6 different settings that we can do on our incline bench here. I'm going to go into kind of a prone shoulder raise. So this time I need to slide the bench back a little bit. Again, 2 settings. Got about 5 different settings down here to slide that bench back and forwards, and numerous settings for the incline of the bench. Now we can remove the weight, but I like to keep my workouts quick. I can lift this up, change my pin, lock that back in, right back on the bench, in with my shoulder presses. And again, I can remove that center locking pin and start to focus on some independent arm action. Let's keep things moving. Chest, shoulders. I'm going to drop the bench down to a nice little decline. And if you've used machines before, having a decline bench on the machine isn't always possible. And there, drop the bench down. We don't need too much of a decline, just enough that we can really start to focus on the lower region of our chest. Again, we can remove the weights if you want, but we can also lift one side. You'll soon find, especially if you keep training notes, what positions work best for you. So for example, if I'm training chest and shoulders, I know which of the 16 different pin positions I might put them into, really feel the muscle working from that particular position. I'm now dropping it down to a decline. I've got about 4 or 5 different positions that I can work through, again, to really find what works for me, a unique position to really feel those pecs engage. Down into our decline. There, lower pecs being worked, arms and shoulders. And look, another great benefit of this multi-system is if I'm training alone, I'm nearing the end of my rep range, I'm really pushing out the weight. Let's say I reach failure. If I was doing free weights, I'd be in a tricky spot right now. I'd need a spotter to help lift that weight back up. But because of that center pin, lower that, lift myself right out. And if I need to, I can remove some weight, perform a drop set, jump right back on. So we have the safety as well as just the ease of being able to change up the positions and the weights as you please. There's one more thing that I want to show you on this bench before we move around. We've already looked at the independent lever arms. We've looked at the 16 different positions to change the height of these arms, the multi positions of that incline bench, the 5 different positions to slide that bench back and forwards. I want to add one extra thing in. I want to add an attachment in. So let's bring our bench back up to almost an incline. I want to have a slight lean back so I can keep my shoulders retracted. Keep the bench in the forward position. Now, another great feature of Powertec are attachments, and they go on the end of the positions here, of which we have 2 on the multi-system. This is one of my favorites. It's a leg curl attachment, and it does exactly what the name suggests. Allows you to perform leg extensions and even hamstring curls. So this is a great optional extra. It just transforms the multi-system. Also fits on the workbench, the lever gym, anywhere that you've got a bench, a Powertec workbench, you can fit it on. Let's put a weight on there to show. Again, customizable based on your needs. You'll see that we have a squat station over there. Nice big compound type movement. But let's say I want to throw in some isolation exercises. I want to work on my legs a little bit in the new year. I'm going to throw a leg attachment in there. You can see, nice full range of motion. I get to really squeeze and engage the quads because of that extension. You might be thinking, well, how do we work in hamstrings with this? Easy, I'll show you. Drop that bench down. It's literally 10 seconds from going from one exercise to the next. I'm gonna keep the bench in the same position. I'm gonna lay face down or prone. My heels are on the back there. I'm gonna hold onto the bench for support. Curl my heels all the way up, really contracting the hamstring, the back of the legs. I mean, just in this one station alone, chest, shoulders, back, which I'll show you next, work some legs in, really quick and easy. Let me show you a back exercise, and for this we'll put this weight back on. I mean, I talk about how many exercises that can be performed on here. It's almost limitless, as much as your imagination allows. I include resistance bands on with the weights, some without the weights, just bands alone. So I'm always changing up the type of tension on my muscles. So we just unscrew, pull out, the attachment comes off. How do we work back on here? Well, I like to drop the bench down. I'm gonna keep it back here. Lower this all the way down towards the bottom. That's the very lowest pin. I'm gonna remove the center pin again. And look, now I can go into a nice row, back row, a couple of different arm positions, more neutral, overhand, prone, underhand. This one gives me a really good length, full range of motion, so I get to stretch out my lat, that big wing-like muscle in the back, and then I'm driving my elbow up towards the ceiling, feeling my back pinch, squeeze, and then immediately go over to the next one. Now, remember from the beginning, we have this center bar here. This bar, again, opens us up for numerous other exercises. One in particular is the barbell shrug. So, upright, can hold here, shrug up. We now have typically what you would need a barbell for. Load on all the weights. And again, with this, once we're done, you can really hit your maximum all the way up to the point of failure where you can't do any more reps, and then lower down onto the bar. You don't need to lift that barbell up, take off the plates. We're just using two 25-pound plates and we're getting the work done. So I'll keep the bar on there. We'll put our center bar back on. I'll raise this up. And we'll bring our bench back up to a flat. I mean, this one station alone will allow you to hit all of your chest, back, shoulders, your traps up here, arms. Look, arm curl right there. Work the biceps. Do a close chest press. Hit the triceps and the inner region of the chest. We're gonna keep walking around. Let's have a look at this one. Kind of a seat, a leg attachment there. Helps clamp us down. And a lever pull up top. So abs and back here. Let's check this out. Coming up, the new year. Everyone wants tight abdominals. We want to burn off that belly fat. Carve in those deep abdominal muscles. Look, whether you want them for purely aesthetic, just to look good, feel good, the core, they're a key muscle group. They allow us to function and perform at our best. So even if your goal may not be to be cover ready, walking around, beach, showing off those rib muscles, you need to be strong in the core. And this is a great exercise to be able to do that. We have these handlebars. This helps clamp us down. Like so, we can adjust this based on your height. I'm gonna pull this down, like being on one of those roller coaster rides. This allows us just to hold on, locks us into that position. Whew. Crunch forwards. We're not over stressing around the neck or upper back. You can actually see that back pad comes down with me. We're flexing at the waist. That additional weight allows me to add resistance on, so I'm working the abdominal muscles, exhaling as I crunch forwards. So the action is by contracting the abdominals as I lean forwards at the waist, feeling the abdominals work, no strain around the upper back or neck. And look, we have that same attachment as we do on the workbench. We can add the leg extension here. We can add an arm curl, which I'm actually going to move on to now. So unscrew, I'll place that down there, walk over here. I mean, if I had to pick out two, I would have the leg curl, which you had just seen me on, and this, the arm curl. Pretty much every muscle group can be performed with this multi-system, and the two attachments. Different heights. Normally I'd add a little bit more weight on, but I want to show you the different options that we can do. We have a nice kind of 45-degree angle on here. We put our plates on there. Great for working both arms at the same time. This is a preacher curl, so it locks in our arms, forces us to really isolate the bicep, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Perform a one-arm row. We can perform a one-arm curl, hitting each arm independently. And also one that I like is to work the forearms a little bit more. We turn that from an underhand to an overhand grip. Might feel a little bit different at first, but what you're going to find is you really work our forearm muscles, our wrist extensors, and you're working the biceps from a different angle, a different kind of variation of the machine. So my tip is to make sure that you include lots of variations within your arm exercises. One other thing about this, Powertec is all about individualizing and changing the setup that you need. So we can adjust the angle of this preacher curl. Some people like it flat, and you'll see if I lock this in here, this now gives me a different feeling on the bicep. So again, if I had weight on there or resistance bands that I can loop around and attach to the bottom, gives me that nice fluid resistance throughout the full range of motion. So just a few more ideas to be able to customize the setup based on your needs. And as soon as we want to take this off, look how quick it is. Support there, 1, 2, 3, and pull, and this slides right out. And I will take this back. There's actually a stand to put up to 4 attachments at the same time, or me personally, I often keep one on the machine. It's there, it's ready set up. As soon as I want to jump on, maybe just a couple of arm pumps, it's there for me. Back, let's talk about back. Well, we've already done a few on the chest area over there, the bench. But for back rows or pull downs, pull-ups, one of the most effective exercises for back. And if you're able to see behind here now, we have another lever system, plate loaded. So all I'm going to do is add some plates on here. I've already got one from here that I can take. So now we're back in position to focus on our back. And if you can reach up here, I'll show you a few different variations. Nice front facing lat pull down. Different movement that you might experience in the gym. For me, I like facing this way. I get to pull down on the elbows. Locks me in if I need to, if I'm going heavy. Just a nice, comfortable, focused back exercise. Change up the handles. That's a nice pull-up variation. Man, I feel this on my back, right in that upper region of the back. I get to pinch my shoulder blades together at the bottom. Check this out too. I can move this bar over. I now have a much more narrow, focused grip. I can mimic that of basically a pull-down exercise. That lever system means it's a nice, fluid, clean motion of the weight. It's not jerky. I don't get to the end here and feel like that weight is jerking about. Keeps that tension on the muscles from start to finish. So you start to get an idea now how quick it is to transition from chest, shoulders, maybe some rows, some traps, to now moving over and hitting the back. Throw some abs in there at the same time during your active recovery. Hit a set of lat pull downs, immediately pull the handle down and work the abs. It's a great way to get the abdominals worked within your workout, as opposed to saving 15 or 20 minutes towards the end of the workout when you're maybe feeling a little bit more gassed. Get the abs worked during your workout. Let's talk about this top bar for a second. You'll see that we have little something in the middle, which ideally is to attach our short bar. Again, tons of variations here. But now we can transform. And now we can transform this into tricep pull down, which I can perform seated. Locks me in. Man, that's a great movement. Another isolation exercise for the triceps. You can even perform it standing. And for that, I just like to remove our thigh pad here. Gives me a little bit more access. I can now stand right up towards the machine. That's a really focused back of the arm exercise there. Variations, underarm, attach a handle, perform single arm. All while using the same weight that we've got loaded up at the back. Getting a nice little pump so far. I've only been hitting a few exercises on each of the stations. We're going to move around to the other side. So chest, shoulders, back, arms, triceps, abs. We can put an arm curl attachment on there. Work our back, work our triceps as well. Let's come around and check out this, our squat area, which I really love because I like squatting, but I also don't like loading up all of the weights on the barbell, having to step back, balance myself. And also, as you're about to see, if I'm training on my own, it's challenging to go heavy, being able to really push myself. But knowing that I may have to rack that weight back up, with this, you don't have to. Even at the bottom, if you fail, you can just step out and walk away clear and free from any of that weight. So let's get some plates on there. Right, so now that we have some weight on the squat calf area, I can show you how this works and the true benefit of this. Once again, utilizing the pull-out system here, we can get in nice and safely. We push that weight up, push that bar in, and if you look at the position of my feet, you'll see that they're angled, which means as I squat down, push my hips back, none of that pressure that I normally feel from squatting is on my back. It's all forced into the quads, the muscle that we're working. I can change the angle of my feet, a little bit more of an outer frog squat, shifts the emphasis of the muscles being worked. I want to show you this too. If I was doing some high reps, I'm starting to fail. Oh, I get right to the bottom. In a normal barbell and free weight situation, that would not be good. With this, I can just remove, step up under from the machine, and it's a bit of a squeeze, but look, safely and easily, without hassle, I can remove. Therefore, I can take off some of that extra weight, get back under, continue back with my drop set. Or usually I would just pull out the handle there and lock it in. A few other exercises that we can do here. Calves. Calves are a great muscle to focus on after really warming up the legs, getting a lot of blood pulled into that area, warming up all of our joints, the ankles, knees, and hips. So let's give the calves some love. And for this, we're using our base plate here. Simple to do calf raises. Raising the heel up off the plate. I keep this locking bar pulled out. As soon as I'm done, down and out. Nothing to mess around. Quick, easy, and simple. One more exercise that we can do on this one, and I'll keep the same weight. I'll push that in, allows the lever arms to come lower down. One leg back, and perform some lunges, some stationary lunges here. Great exercise again for the quads, working the glutes. As soon as I'm done, pull that handle out and lock it back in. Whew. There we have it. That is some of the many benefits of the Powertec multi-system. We checked out a few of the attachments, leg curl, arm curl, and just to summarize, have our lever arms here. We can take out the locking pin, 16 different settings for the lever arms. Raise the bench up, upright, flat, several different inclines, a decline option, slide the bench 5 positions back and forwards. Attachments can go here. We have a locking central bar here. We come around, our thigh pad locks us in, works the abdominals. Focus is really kept on the core, not on sort of stress on the upper back and around the shoulder area. We have our top bar here, works the lats, seated lat pull down, change from outer, inner, and a close grip there. We also have the attachment for the cable, short tricep press downs, works the back of the arms, standing, whole tons of variations. And then as you saw, move over to the squat position, the squat calf lever section. We can work our quads, get the hamstrings worked in there, the glutes, the calves, basically every major muscle and every muscle in between we can focus on with the lever gym. Do that last part again. So as you can see, pretty much every major muscle and all of the facilitating muscles can be focused on using the multi-system. It's a great single piece on its own. It's even better if you customize it with the attachments. Guys, I wish you all a happy end to the new year. Here's all of us wishing for a more productive, more beneficial new year that's coming up. Let's make a great resolution. Let's keep that resolution getting and staying in shape. It's not easy, but that's why we're here. We want to help make it a little less challenging for you, at least in the setup and the ability to exercise. Powertecfitness.com. Check us out on all of our social media. I'm Rob Richards. Thank you for watching. See you guys back here soon. Keep training hard. Take care.